Well, welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, and we all know what you're all dealing with, what we're all dealing with, and life just pretty much sucks right now, and but we're all getting through it. Obviously, racing and what we do is really taking a back seat, and it rightfully should, as people have bigger fish to fry, so to speak, and a lot of things they're dealing with, between jobs and families and and everything, but. We're still out here. We're still going to continue. I've been hearing from people that have enjoyed what we've done over the last few weeks of Mainly Motorsports, and we're going to do some more of it, showing old episodes, from 7, 8, 9, almost 10 years ago of us in the archives. And I've had so much help over the years from different people. They're doing the camera work, different people behind the scenes. Obviously Dave Stewart comes right to the top of the list with what he's done for the last, I don't know how many years, to do the editing process. But we've had some great personalities on air with me, on camera. We've had so much fun. I wish we could talk about everything on air. We almost can now, even though because we're not over the air with WPME, and we are on Facebook and all the social media outlets, as well as our website. But one of the guys that we had so much fun with, and it's a guy I've known for years, and our relationship with Mainly Motorsports really took our friendship to the next level, and that's Greg Emerson. And I want to welcome Greg back on the show via phone, so to speak, and we'll get him on another time in person. But Greg, welcome back to Mainly Motorsports.
It's good to be there.
So, obviously social distancing is a big thing, so we have to be 40 miles away. We couldn't sit 6 feet apart and be on camera, so that is impossible. We've always joked about that. But first off, how are you, Vicky, your mom, your sister, everybody in the entire family doing and dealing with what's going on in the world?
Everybody's doing good. We're doing our part, so to speak, and my mother rode to the grocery store with my sister the other day just to get out of the house, but my sister made her stay in the car.
Yeah.
And my sister sent me a text this morning. I took Mom a care package. It was some Malibu and some. she took us some liquor to get through. So
Mother's getting lit up.
Yeah, she hasn't been out of the house in like 3 weeks, and her boyfriend comes by because she'll still make dinner enough for him, and she'll leave it on the steps, and he'll swing by and pick it up, and then he'll lean on his car and they'll talk because they're both older, so they don't want to chance it. Either one of them want to chance it, but yeah, it's pretty. It's kind of funny, but it's not.
Now, do you remember the last time we talked about your mother on Mainly Motorsports?
Oh, she was going to kill you.
Yeah, she was going to kick my ass, as she said. So make sure you know that Berta got to see us here on Mainly Motorsports. And I'll have to find a good photo to pop up of her, so maybe she'll forget.
There's one from the Christmas party, isn't there?
Oh, of me and you and her? Yeah, we'll find something, but...
You'll have to blur it out the shirts.
Oh, yeah. No, we don't. We don't have to anymore. Things have changed, I got a little over the edge there with PME, and they weren't happy, but oh well, they get over it. But I really, first off, I got to thank you for everything you've done with us here at Mainly Motorsports over the years. Being my co-host, some of the trips. A few weeks ago, we showed our first ever trip to the Snowball Derby, and it was a great experience for the both of us. And we've got to see so much and meet so many people, and shared a lot of laughs, didn't we?
Yeah. And even though it's been, 3-4 years since I've been on a regular basis, I still get people that ask me how Steve's doing. What's going on with the show and this and that? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's and for everybody that doesn't know, we have taken the show off the air with WPME. A couple of reasons, the virus deal, trying to take it easier on our advertisers, as you can imagine. Everybody's watching their dollars right now, and then we had a situation when Archie dropped a couple of words that they weren't crazy about in his interview a couple, back around Daytona, and they got all fired up. And then they went back and looked at some stuff that maybe I hadn't done that was up to their standard or down to their standard, whatever you want to do. Because you know me more as anybody that I can get a little. I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for, but outside the box. So, but you know what? Is what it is. It's
That's your
motorsport.
alter ego buck.
Yeah, that was my alter ego buck. But we're still keeping it going. I think it was going to allow us to be a little bit more, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but creative, you know, with just focusing on, you know, the Facebook side of things. And we have a huge following. Still, you know, it stinks to those people that, you know, could only see it on PME with their regular TV. But if you have one of the high-end channels or something and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, you're able to do it. So there's opportunities and there's ways to still see us, and obviously not a lot of racing going on right now, which is crazy, you know, the racetracks, and hopefully they can all get through it, and I'm sure they will. And you know, as we're going to talk to some of the other hosts that have been with us over the year and get their take on it. But you know, what's your take, Greg? I mean, you know, we are another a month or two away from being able to see racing.
Yeah, I think it came on faster than we thought it was gonna, and I think it's gonna turn around just as fast. Like as soon as restrictions get lifted, I think it's gonna, you know, there's people that would still do stuff right now if they weren't in a chance to, you know, like Bobby Weber at Star.
He'll be the first one out of the box.
Yeah,
Mayberry will be right with him.
If he wouldn't get in trouble with the town or government, then he would be doing it.
Yeah, and Mayberry will be right with him. You know, they're gonna hit those cars on the track, and
right. But I don't think the government's gonna allow anything.
No.
Oh, I'm thinking the end of May.
Yeah, I mean that would be ideal. I'm hoping it's going to happen. You know, I guess for the racing side of things, it couldn't have happened at a better time. You know, other than the middle of the winter. But you know, I don't care. If this happens in the middle of winter, we are all screwed with snowstorms and different things. And holidays. So it couldn't have happened at a better time. Now let's talk about your life on Mainly Motorsports. And I think about it every time I tape a show. The one thing we do is we would go and we'd eat all the time. You know, probably that hasn't changed much. But you introduced me to Gold Fever Wings at 99, one of my favorite things. We went there with me, you, and Perv one night. And, you know, Rapid Ray's, they miss us. I mean, we'd spend $20, $30 at Rapid Ray's, a little fast food hot dog joint, $30 bill, you know. But
or if we saw that infamous truck, we just pull over because we knew he was going to pay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, but no, real fun. And, I mean, how many nights did we leave the studio, and whether it was shooting here over at the mill, shooting at my house, shooting at my, you know, when I ran in the gravel pit, that the ride would end up on the back of a U-Haul truck.
Well, a wrecker.
Yep. Oh, yeah, not a U-Haul truck, a AAA wrecker. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But, and then the truck just went through a fire. It was involved in the fire that happened at Jaden Curtis' house, family's house this week. And the truck lived through that one. So that old red truck, you just can't kill it, Greg.
That truck hated me, I think. One of the funniest things is the night we were leaving and it was late, and it was a show that you, me, and Walker had all been on, and Sue and Dan offered to give me a ride home, and I'm like, nah, I'll just wait and go with Perry. And we were riding in the truck, and I started bitching about the truck, and next thing you know, it dies.
Yeah.
Road.
You remember that? You remember that night though? We had the little guy in the ramp truck pick us up, so the three of us were squeezed in the front seat.
Yeah.
Is that the night you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're talking about the show and how we thought it went and this stuff and stuff, and the guy says, "Are you guys in movies?" And this is where Greg failed, because Greg couldn't keep a straight face to save his ass. And I would just said, yeah, we make movies. The guy said, oh, that's cool. What kind of movies do you make? So I, without even batting an eyelash, I said to him, I look at him, I said, we make fat guy gay porn. And if that kid could have crawled out of that truck and still figured out how to stand on the side and drive that truck, he would have. And I just kept looking straight ahead. And then I looked at him. I said, don't think about wanting to be a part of it. You're too small. And that's when you lost it. You're like, and he's like, don't listen to him, So, no, we had so much fun.
The funniest thing is we pretty much told him that we were joking, but it was like 40 degrees out, and he's still driving the truck with like his head hanging out the window like a dog.
Yeah, I probably at that point, after I said that, maybe if I'd have reached and given him a little inner thigh rub, he would have really, we probably wouldn't even be here to talk about it today. He'd have drove it right into the next tree he saw.
Oh, he would have found a bridge embankment.
Yeah, so we had so much fun, the races, the 250s, obviously the Derby, the weekly stuff that we were able to go to while you were at, getting away from your spotting gig with Dan, and what you're still doing with Dan McKay. But what are a couple of the highlight things that you got to do here with us here at Mainely Motorsports?
Obviously, probably the number one thing was that trip to the Derby, and
it was our first ever one.
Yeah, and bringing to the point that how important and how big of an event the Derby is, and now we still go every year, But then probably one of the other biggest things that I got to do just because of my involvement with you was when you started the team back up and had Mike driving. You had me spotting for Mike when we weren't racing. I was spotting for Mike. And
yep, back in 2014.
We ended up winning. We ended up going to some of the fun times that I think of is just the rides to and from Canada.
Oh.
And I don't know who was more scared by some of the stuff that we were saying was Alex or Mark, but
yeah.
But like just going to Canada, and doing those things, and then but like probably one of the highlights in my time with the show and you, and even in my racing career in general, was that day that we won the past race at Beach Ridge. We weren't racing Dan's car, but we had the past sportsman at the time, and I told Travis Barrett or somebody, I can't remember who, I told him, I'm like, I'm going to win 2 races today with 2 different drivers. And they're like, no, you're out of your mind. And I'm like, I got fast cars in both races. And sure in anything, we ended up winning the past sportsman race. And then we ended up winning the past 150, I think it was.
Yep.
It was the early season one.
Yep.
But what was great about the whole thing was I stayed in the grandstands and just clicked over channels and stuff like that. And as the race is going on, they had loaded up the sportsman, past tech, and all that stuff. So Dan and a couple of the crew guys come over, and they're all sitting around me. And he brought his kids with him and stuff. And then you come over, and you're sitting with me. And we just took the race, and we're trying to navigate through lap traffic, and I'm all focused and in my zone. Hey, you want some popcorn?
Hey, I'm tapping you on the leg.
It's like 20 laps to go, and you're like, you sent Dan's kid to go get popcorn. Hey, you want popcorn? I'm sending Sean to get popcorn. Yeah,
we went down and got popcorn. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm a little different when it comes to things. I don't really get stressed out. I just enjoy life, and like I said, I enjoyed the times with you. I think, the racing things, the meeting the people, going to the tracks for the first time, as a group, Unity, Wiscasset, Speedway 95, we've done the drags. We did just different things and I think it opened your eyes to what Mainely Motorsports is as people, you're starting to get friends requests. I remember you used to always say you'd gauge your, how everything was going by your happy birthday Facebook wishes from year to year, and you attributed some of the rise in it to Mainely Motorsports, and the popularity of you being on here.
I still get over 300 happy birthdays every year, and it's amazing. It's amazing to me, I mean, yeah, we did some fun stuff. I mean, like the snowmobile race that you cheated at that I got wet. But
Yeah, and Rayanne made me a cake. Remember that?
Yeah.
World's biggest whoopie pie. But I think, and some of the stuff that we couldn't air and we'd never aired just because it was really over the top. But I still think what would have been epic, absolutely epic, if you'd have just not blown it when I did our Thanksgiving special.
Yeah, that would have.
The way I presented that in such a straight face, and then you just busted a nut, and you just couldn't keep it together. That would have been, because even though I did get to do it after you and then Leanne stopped me and all that, it's never the same.
Second time I hold my straight face, and then you.
Yeah, but she jumped in front of the camera, remember? And but the first time when I ran across that, and I'll show it here as we get ready to go to break, that was just the best thing. That was just so funny. And yeah, and pies, love pies.
Pumpkin.
Chocolate.
Pumpkin.
All right. So anybody wants to bake Greg a pumpkin pie or bring me a chocolate pie, you can mail it to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Wyndham, Maine, 4062, and I'll spring for the milk, and then the next week's episode we'll be eating your pie on the on the show, right? So there we go. We can eat some pie right on the show.
We gotta cut that. You can't have that.
No, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
I went into a coughing fit. You can't throw something like that at
That was
me.
a good one, though, wasn't it? Because it was like, it was.
I didn't even expect it. I stopped the clock anyway. We cut, Dave. We cut.
That's a good one, though, ain't it?
Fit.
Okay, so take two. I'm going that route again.
You gotta move so I can set my foot here somewhere. Move one of your feet.
We're going that route again, so be ready.
I can't because I'm gonna laugh.
Why? Because it sounded beautiful, didn't it? Because I was just as serious. So if you want to have your pie eaten on Mainly Motorsports, right? Hey, come here. What? No, we're not taping. We just had to stop because. Oh no, we just leave it recording all the time. We had to stop. Listen, this is what I did.
Don't even tell her. Let her just see if she can make it without laughing.
All right. Okay. Okay. You ready? Okay. You ready? Take two.
Go.
Well, as we wrap up this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports and we get further into the month of November, you know what that means, Greg?
Thanksgiving.
Our favorite time of year.
Yeah.
When we were kids, it was Christmas, but...
Yeah. Thanksgiving for us fat guys.
Yeah. You know what we should do? The week of...
Dress like pilgrims?
No, we're not dressing
How about you dress like a turkey and I'll dress like an Indian or something like that?
I'd be a big turkey. No, I was thinking is we tape, we have the night before Thanksgiving, maybe somebody could bring us a feast and we could have a Thanksgiving feast right here on Mainly Motorsports.
Because Lord knows if you or I did it, it would be like turkey sandwiches or something.
And then we'd eat turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and rolls and stuff, and then we'd have some pie after, right?
I don't think anybody wants to watch us eat.
Why?
I don't know.
Listen.
What's your favorite kind of pie?
Chocolate cream. What do you want?
I like pumpkin.
All right. So if anybody out there wants to have their pie eaten on Mainly Motorsports, why don't they send it in, and we'll put it right here on the set, and we'll eat your pie right on Mainly Motorsports.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You should have seen what I did. He almost died.
You are not putting that on. I'm going to go take the biscuits out of the oven.
Was that good, though?
Oh, that was good, Andrew. That's who I was just texting.
Yeah, no, I did the first one, and Greg almost puked.
You threw it away. We had it good, too.
Yeah, we had it good. I laughed because she's going, yeah, but you ain't going to know what that means.
Baloney.
Everybody knows what that means. Cut the crap.
You know what I wanted to keep doing, because I wanted to go, because what I was going to keep doing, and I sucked, because when she was there, I was going to say, yeah, because my wife's had her pie right here. That was a good one.
Oh, my God.
We're doing it. I don't care. Do it again. I'm doing it.
Let's try not to make it so flagrant and keep talking about it. Just say it once and let it fly.
All right. Yeah, all right.
Jesus, Dave, you got your work cut out for you.
We got Hacky and Pukey and
Steve's wife jumping in the set. No! No!
okay, you ready?
Go.
Well, as we wrap up this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, we're getting excited because the further we get into the month of November, we get closer to
our favorite holiday.
our favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. You know, and
Yeah.
we should do something special the week.
Like
that-
dress up.
dress up.
Like you can be a turkey and I'll dress up like an Indian or something like that.
Yeah, that we look like. Listen,
I'll have to be a winter Indian. I don't think anybody wants to see me without a shirt.
yeah,
on.
I don't ever see the big Indian.
No.
We used to see one in Freeport when we were kids, the big Indian, and sure, I never seen a big turkey. But no, I was thinking if somebody prepared a Thanksgiving feast for us, we had it on the set the night before Thanksgiving, that Wednesday show, they could watch us eat turkey and mashed potatoes. You know, I mean, they do that, right? All these talk shows and all that, and you know, they have.
Lord knows if it was you or I preparing it, it would be like a turkey sandwich or something.
No, we'd have a big turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy and rolls, and then finish it off with some pie. Ooh,
What's your favorite kind of pie?
chocolate pie.
I like pumpkin.
So see, I mean, probably not. Gonna
That's my favorite. I love having pumpkin pie at
all right,
Thanksgiving.
probably nobody gonna spring to make a whole meal, but somebody might bake us a pie or something.
Yeah.
So hey, if anybody wants to send their pie in and have their pie eaten right here on Mainly Motorsports, we'll do it,
Yeah.
right? And just I'll spring for the milk. You send it in, and we'll just eat your pie right here on set, and it'll be good and it'll be fun, and that'll be our Thanksgiving
Right.
show. Then we'll figure out something for Christmas, right? But no, seriously, hope everybody has a real good holiday season. And
And Greg, we got to get you back. We'll get you back on this summer. We'll have some fun. I'll drag you to a track. We'll get Vicky involved and Debbie, and just it was a pleasure to have you. And like I said, taken out of it, it strengthened our friendship and made it more than what it already was. And looking forward to many more years of Mainly Motorsports, many more years of friendship with you, and obviously the shows with Portland and Augusta, which we didn't have when we first started. I might have had Portland, I guess, or Augusta. I don't even know. But it's just changed so much. And, you know, thank you for everything. And we'll have to go and visit Rapid Race someday and drop another 30 or 40 bucks and just catch up on old Mainly Motorsports stuff.
For sure. And as soon as we get this Corona kicked out of the way, then we'll have to get on and talk about the Night Owl Creations.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, that's one of the things that, because you've had a little extra time on your hands, that you've really taken and run with, and that's Greg's helmets, Night Owl Creations, and doing a great job. And you're going to see some fancy helmets at all kinds of tracks throughout Maine and New Hampshire. And you're going to say, where are these coming from? Well, I'm telling you, Greg is where they're coming from. And we're going to show, as we're talking about this, you're seeing some pictures of some of the ones pop up. And, some top guys that are going to be challenging for wins and championships throughout all of New England. They got your melons on top of their heads. So it's just something that you branched out in. You've always enjoyed that side of things, and doing a great job with it.
Yeah, it's fun. And like you said, I've had plenty of time, and it's so fun. What's funny is, I do one and I post it on Facebook, and then I get 2 or 3 more, so.
Yeah, no, it's good. And you've done one for us. We got some ideas coming up that we want to do for some raffle things to fundraise for, obviously, Dream Ride Racing. So we'll be at the racetrack before you know it, Greg. It's going to go quick, and look forward to being able to catch up with everybody and just, see their smiling face and have a conversation face to face, not say via text or a phone call. So thank you for taking the time out of your not so busy life right now, Greg, and stopping in with us and talking about the old days and some of the fun things we had at Mainly Motorsports and what you got going on. And we'll see you before not too long.
For sure.
All right, that's Greg Emerson. Probably ran the longest as far as episodes here on Mainly Motorsports, and we had so much fun. We'll take a break, and let's go see if we can find one of our other former co-hosts or somebody that's still involved with the show and talk about some Mainly Motorsports stuff.
Welcome to LST Landscaping, where we've been providing complete landscape solutions to all of southern Maine since 1969. We specialize in year-round landscape maintenance and snow services, including weekly lawn mowing, seasonal cleanups, sweeping, mulching, and so much more. Many more customizable services are available upon request. Please call our office today at 207-878-1578 or visit our website, lstlandscapinginc.com.
I'm Melinda. My husband Steve and I operate E-Keys for Cars in Saco. E-Keys is family-owned with over 20 years in the car key business. Need an extra key? We promise to provide the best quality at a good price. Walk-ins are always welcome with no appointment ever needed. You'll be in and out in minutes. And yes, E-Keys still handles emergencies. But why wait? E-Keys for Cars, Route 1 on the Auto Mile in Saco.
E-Keys for Cars.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by LKQ Core. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham. Wiscasset Speedway, Maine's biggest and fastest, with $5 admission every weekend and loads of family fun. Check us out at wiscassetspeedway.com.
Here we are, Greg. It's the weekend, finally here. Sunday of the 250, and great car count today. Just the atmosphere, it's just, I don't know, I just get so excited when I come up here for this weekend.
Yeah, it's a great day. I'm guessing between 60 and 80 late models here. I haven't done an actual count. The track's reporting 82, and other places reporting 70. But I mean, there's quite a few guys here, and there's a wide variance of times on the track.
I was going to say, you were up there timing, and you got like 3 ranges of cars. You got your early favorites, pre-race favorites, your guys that are probably an adjustment away from being in that group, and then you got guys that really need some help to be in that starting field.
Right, and you don't know who was on new tires or old tires, but these tires do fall off. I was talking to a few guys, and they said that the heat cycles matter a lot in these tires, and they really slow the car down a lot once the heat cycles go into effect. So only time will tell, and the heats will tell, and if you get a good draw, then you know where you're going to stop probably.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that's the whole key about this weekend, and most tour racing, I should say. But you know, it ain't all about Oxford this weekend, even though it is the big deal.
Right.
But Thursday night they had the John Phippen Memorial race up
to Bangor at Speedway 95,
and Mr. Hopkins.
Hot Rod Hopkins, that's my new nickname.
That's his new nickname, Hot Rod Hopkins, and man, that guy gets it done.
Yep.
Picked up his 7th win of the season up there at Speedway 95.
Yeah, he was the night we went up there. His car, he could go anywhere he wanted to.
Yeah,
and
so you know, congratulations
to him.
Dean Smart was 2nd, and
Dwayne Seekins got 3rd.
Seekins got 3rd. So nice field of cars up there, good racing, raised some money for the Phippen family. So you know, I miss John. John, this 250. John was one of the stories at these weekends. You know, everybody thinks Kyle Busch or Brian Hoare or Mike Rowe or Bradley. Those aren't the stories. The stories are the little guy
that makes it in.
Yeah, that pulls his resources, has his crew reach in their pocket, kick in 10, 15, 20 bucks, buys tires, puts a few sandwiches together, and comes up here and makes the show. That's the story of this weekend.
Right, yeah.
And speaking of that story of this weekend, we saw that last night in the modified race for the the Valente Modified Series. First time winner. And I'll tell you, not only was he excited in Victory Lane, Joe Doucette, everybody was excited. Competitors were coming up excited.
Yeah.
Crew members on other teams. That's what you like to see.
It's great when you got a big weekend like this and they have a special race on Saturday night and he pulls off the upset victory, you know. I think you told me he took the lead on lap 97.
Yeah, 95, 96. He methodically worked his way forward, and you know, as we got his interview here coming up, you're going to see, listen to him, and it's funny. It's like he just, I don't want to say it. I want you to hear some of the things he says because it is pretty comical.
And he beat some good cars.
Oh yeah. So enjoy listening to Joe Doucette talk about his first win in the modified racing series. Now we're gonna go out. I got Greg out in the field, and we're gonna give you a surprise 6. We're calling them, and that's one from each heat that's in the grid of the starting lineup for the 250. See what they have to say about A, making the race, B, what their chances are to win the race. So here's your surprise 6, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers.
This is Greg Emerson down here with Ben Ashline. He just won the pole for the Oxford 250. This is an opportunity for you to either cash in on a boatload of money or pace yourself and get the win. What's your plan?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stiff competition here. Watching last night's Pro All-Star race and seeing how Kyle Busch kind of handled himself, you know, the pace he set early on and worked with the leaders and the top guys. You know, I don't necessarily think that running away with it at first is necessarily going to be the best plan, but it's a lot of money on the line too. So I mean, we're such a low-budget team that to have the opportunity to start on the pole. I mean, I've been coming over here since I was 10 years old. I mean, never dreamed of being able to start on the pole for the TD Bank 250, and I mean, this is great. My crew, they did an awesome job. This thing was going great, and I got to thank them. I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm really excited.
It's pretty awesome. You have a couple sponsors you want to thank?
Yes, DS Norwood Construction. He's the guy on the hood here. I mean, like I said, we're a low-budget team. LA Harley Davidson, Barabys Auto Care, Mystic Distributors, East Coast Scooters, MRD Designs, Vertex Fabrication, Etham Graphics. I mean, they've all made this possible for me, so I got to thank them and the fans. I mean, there's a lot of people here this weekend. This is a great turnout.
Cool. Well, good luck to you. Hope you have a good night. And
all right, now we're going to send it over to Greg, who's caught up with, other than maybe Al Hammond and Jeff Taylor, the cat that's won the most races here on this racetrack, but not in these type of race cars.
thanks, Steve. I'm down here with Dave Farrington Jr., who qualified for his first 250 today. He has won a ton of races here, but not in a late model or pro stock or anything like that. He's got the most go-kart wins, 276 of anybody here at Oxford Plains. And so this is your first 250. What do you think?
Well, it's nice to at least make it in the heat race because it makes for a lot less stressful day. We've been running the ACT Tour full time this year, and we've got in the ACT Tour races every single time in the B feature, and it makes for a long day, but it's finally nice to be able to make it in on the heat races itself.
Yeah, it's a good day, and you got your work cut out for you. You've been scoping out the competition and all that stuff out there today?
Yeah, I have. You know, the track's going to be tricky, you know, to try to get a hold of, you know, whether the sun's out or the sun goes in the clouds, because when the sun's beating down, makes that track really slick, and the car is pretty free. So we don't want to try to adjust it too much and make it too tight in the feature, because, you know, I mean, normally when the sun does go down, the track seems to tighten up. So,
well, congrats on making your first 250, and hope you have a good night tonight.
All right, we're going to send it over to Greg, and who's caught up with a name that last year everybody was talking about. This year the kid's come in under the radar, but he got it done in heat number 5.
And I'm down here with Austin Terrio, and he finished second in his heat in heat 5, and this is his second attempt of the 250, and he's now made it. So he's got a 50% ratio. There's a little hype about you last year, you know, coming in, being the hot new guy and stuff like that, and something just didn't pan out and you didn't make the show last year, but today you did. You got up on the wheel and you drove it up there. So,
well, last year we learned a lot from the whole ordeal. I think we over-engineered ourselves. You know, you have a whole day Saturday to you know, to make your car better, but a lot of times what happens is most of the guys end up making the car worse, and we were one of those teams that made our car worse.
Dialed your car.
We pretty much dialed ourselves out of a qualifying position. And I mean, last year we drew pretty decent also, so that kind of tells you that, you know, if you don't have your car worked out, you're not guaranteed a position in the 250. It's a really hard race to get into, and it's all about confidence, determination, and you need a good car also, you know.
Yeah, and you obviously had a good car. It looked real good. You drove your way up through there and, you know, put a couple stellar moves on some guys that have got some experience out there, and you did a good job, and we're looking forward to seeing you have a great race in the 250, and hope it's a good night for you at the end of the night.
We're hoping the whole team has a good night. I want to thank them all for the hard work they've done today, and we'll just stick it out and see what happens.
Wow, wow, wow. That's all I can say about this great weekend of racing up here at Oxford.
Between the modifieds, the pass race on Saturday night, and then the Oxford 250 today.
Great storylines all weekend long.
Right.
You know, the first-time winner in the mods, Kyle Busch, winning last night against the best super late model racers in the country, and then coming up here today in the biggest one-day short track event in the country and finally getting that win that everybody, I mean, like he said last night, well, make it sound like I've been doing this forever. No, it's still, but you still had 2 shots and you didn't do it. This is Kyle Busch. This isn't Joe Smith. This is Kyle Busch. You come in, you win, you conquer, you leave.
He brought the broom.
He brought the broom. He brought this, and one thing that he did that his buddy Havoc only came in and won 1 race, and he won 2.
Two in the same week.
Yeah, and Kyle made the comment off camera that at least he did it with a legal car, right? So what a great job for him coming up, that whole organization. But what a great time for the race fan. That's who I think, the race fan.
Yeah, it was a great show for that. I honestly believe since the Oxford 250 has been the ACT type late model, this was one of the best races that I saw all around. The racing throughout the field,
Yeah, and I want you to hear right now what Bill Ryan had to say about the weekend, and then we'll come back and wrap the show up. All right, so. All right. Now we just heard from Bill talking about the weekend. We caught up with him out there in Victory Lane. He just don't show no emotion, but I'll tell you, you could tell he was pleased with the turnout, the crowd. It was just the whole weekend.
Yeah, it was. The crowd was phenomenal Saturday night, and they had a really great crowd here tonight again.
Yeah.
A great race, and I can't say enough about the storylines. The guys' tire strategies, and then we had the big. Why is everybody blowing right front? Jeff White was out front leading the race, and then Ben Ashline and him on a restart. Both of them, their right front tires go flat.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then, there's him and Ben Ashline right off the restart, going flat.
And then there was words that maybe Goodyear was having a tire problem.
Geez, we got scared. We just got spooked by Kyle Busch. I had to go knuckle him up.
He's tricking us.
Yeah, he's tricking us. But what about Jeff Taylor? It looked like finally he was going to get that elusive win.
I thought the Hound Dog was going to get one.
Yeah.
He had a great car. He was setting his own pace, making his tracks, and KB was just hunting him down. You could tell on the pitch of his motor that he was saving his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
no, you're right.
He used it when he needed to.
Now, obviously last week's show, we had a little wager, a little top 5. And thank you, man. Kyle's leaving the building. But taking a lot of Bill Ryan's money, too. And
and speaking of taking money,
$20.
Who's $10.99 in it now?
$20. He cleaned. Last night was close. I mean,
Last night, I ended up with 35. You ended up with 45 total points. But tonight, it was decided before the green flag
I had 2 guys
dropped.
that didn't even make the field.
You had 2 DNQs.
But here's $20 to Greg. But you need a ride home, so I'm going to charge you gas money. So, no, but thank you for coming up. Hope you enjoyed your experience, your first experience doing Mainly Motorsports at the 250. I hope
you got to have the experience at doing some interviews. I hope they're not too bad, but it was a great time. Got to spend about an hour and a half with Joey Carafas today, just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, and
that's awesome,
Joey Carafas, we're going to have that on an upcoming episode. The guy that won the inaugural Oxford 200.
The year I was born.
Yeah, no, exactly. So congratulations to all this weekend's winners, all the race fans that saw some great race action, and we'll see you next week on Mainly Motorsports.
$20.
Welcome to Mainly Motorsports.
To order a copy of this show, send a check or money order for $15, including shipping and handling to Mainly Motorsports, 2 Main Street, Suite 17-103, Biddeford, Maine, 04005. And please add the show number in the description of the show.
Don't deal with just anybody to seal coat your driveway or business this season. Call Black Magic. They bring over 20 years of experience in seal coating and crack filling. Black Magic's skilled team makes sure the job is always done right, on schedule with quality workmanship at a fair price. Protect your investment in your driveway by getting it sealed with Black Magic.
Ooh, Black Magic.
My name is Scott. This is Devin. We're the owners of Black Magic Seal Coating. Let us earn your business today. You'll be glad you did.
Football fans, have we got a deal for you? VIP Tour and Charter Bus Company is offering round-trip transportation to Gillette Stadium to watch the New England Patriots make another run for the Super Bowl. Ride in style knowing we're doing the driving. So if you've got a ticket, we've got your ride. It doesn't get any better than that. Just log on to VIPchartercoaches.com, click on the Browse Book Tour button, and book your trip today. It's that simple. Relax and leave the driving to us, and we'll leave the tailgating to you.
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Hewitt's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
All right, man. This is what we've been here. I mean, we've saw all the preliminary stuff, but this is why we're here for the 45th annual Snowball Derby, which is, they're getting ready to push the cars to the grid here Sunday. And what a great weekend we've had here, huh?
Warm, sunny weather in Florida. Now, granted, it's not always like this, apparently, from what we're hearing, but the atmosphere is unbelievable. We just found out there's going to be people tailgating in the infield during the race.
Yeah. And have you been to a more hospitable track, from the office staff to the promoter, Tim Bryant? How about NASCAR Ron taking care of us? I mean, we have front row parking, so I'm telling you, I'm excited. We just walked through the pit, saw our homeboy, Seth Holbrook, who's working with Kyle Busch this weekend.
Yep.
And, you know, they like their chances. Obviously, they like their chances anywhere they go, but really excited. I mean, last night, Austin Terrio, the great run he had. Billy Melvin, I mean, we don't have any highlights, maybe we can get some pictures, but the guy with a collapsed lung winning the modified race on Friday night, you know?
Yeah, it's just the atmosphere. You can't explain it. It's like, when we got the Oxford 250 at home, but this is like, if you're wanting people to come from North Carolina to go to the Oxford 250, then you need to get out of Maine and come to the Snowball Derby.
Yeah, I will guarantee we will bring more people back next year.
Yeah.
Because this is, you can't even understand what this is for an experience. You know, it's just unbelievable.
Did you notice this shiny thing behind us? You know what this is? This is the Tom Dawson Trophy, Memorial Trophy, that the winner of the Snowball Derby gets.
That's what it's all about.
Right.
The money goes away. Your name gets etched on the trophy. There's a lot of names. Speaking of names,
who do you got?
All right, we'll leave Busch out of it because obviously everybody's pre-race favorite, love him or hate him, is Kyle Busch.
Right.
I'll take 2, you take 2.
Okay.
My pick from the time I walked off the plane down here and did my research was always the kid that I seen him at Speed Fest before. He's fast. He's fast here. He's been fast all year in the Blizzard Series, and that's Jeff Chiquette, driver of the 29. We interviewed him earlier in the show. He's got his game face on.
One statement that I want to make about our picks, there's not a bad pick in the field.
Yeah, 30 cars went home from a 60-something car field. You know,
and they're starting 37 cars, but they're 37 of the best cars in the country. There's not a bad pick in the field.
Yeah.
My first pick, is a young guy who has like come to life in the last year or so, especially in the super late model stuff, and he's got a big name helping him. And Kyle Benjamin is my pick.
All right, who's your
because I'm loving it. It's McDonald's.
Who's your second pick?
My second pick is the guy we had on the show a couple weeks ago, Ross Kenseth. And I'll tell you why. He hasn't been the fastest car all weekend, but I watched him in practice, and something just tells me he's going to race really good. Just the way, and he's so smooth on the wheel and stuff like that. I just think that he's going to be that guy. I mean,
all right.
He holds a pretty
I got
wheel.
One more pick?
Yeah. I know who you're going to take.
We were here last night.
We can't take Busch, so I know who you're going to take.
How can you not be impressed with a kid at 17 years old that kind of kept the field in check, stayed under control, but when he thought there was somebody coming that might have had a better car than him, threw the switch, not literally, just it was time to go, and took off and won the Snowflake, and that's Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
Looking to be what Bickle's done, Augie Grill's done, and that's back it up.
This is my first time seeing Chase Elliott in a race car, and I kind of gauge races like this and tracks like this on a driver's ability. That shows to me a little bit more than a big track where you're standing on the gas a lot. Now this is a bigger track than normally at home and you stand on the gas a lot, but you gotta hold a pretty wheel and be smooth to get around this place. Without you twitch a little bit off the corner and you've lost 2/10. And you know, everybody talks about Chase Elliott and he's on the fast track, and there's a reason he's on the fast track.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he weren't no good, he wouldn't be on the fast track no matter what.
No, you're right. So we're getting ready. They're going to do pre-race festivities. I mean, we just got so much going on. I can't wait to get our seat and get ready to enjoy the 45th Annual Snowball Derby. Well, as we wrap up this week's half-hour show, we're continuing to go a half hour just to get, you know, we change things around, the way we're doing things, not shooting up at Time Warner, so to speak. We're doing things on location, got our own little Mainly Motorsports headquarters. It's a secret location. It's like a bat cave, you know, like Batman and Robin. Although we look like Fat Man and Bobbin or something, you know, not Batman and Robin here, right? I'll be Fat Man, you can be Bobbin.
Whatever.
You know, dude, that's wrong too.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's just, and then that's why you haven't seen the scrolls. So the scrolls are coming back, and I appreciate all the scroll sponsors because the last few years, that's what's really been carrying this show.
Yeah, I mean, and we all like to see those when we're watching the show because it keeps us informed on who's out there
Yeah,
doing.
those are the guys that are supporting this show, you know,
Yeah.
the businesses, and from your convenience stores to your garages to your transmission places. So, you know, really, folks, if you get a chance to get out and support any one of them, make sure you tell them it's because you saw them on the Mainly Motorsports website or on the Mainly Motorsports TV show. So that's what makes this all happen. And we're gonna, you know, I'm really excited about the way we're doing things. I think it's going to be really fun. I think you're going to see a side of things that you didn't realize was out there. You know, some different things.
If you keep having me on, it's definitely going to be fun because I'm a good time all around.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So,
no, yeah. You are.
What's going on up to Richmond karting? You must be busy up there with your daughter.
Yeah, I feel bad because I tease her every week. I say, I'm giving you a kart capable of winning, but you're not getting the job done. But trust me, she's getting the job done. I suck as a crew chief. I mean, we should easily have 2 wins already, and it's just terrible. So I'm trying to give more effort and more focus, and I got to, you know what I mean? So we'll get it figured out, you know, and she's doing a great job. And but they got a Friday night race coming up June 24th, and I'll tell you, I really don't want to say too much today because they haven't finalized stuff, but on July 30th, they got a big deal going on up there that's going to be great for the spectators and great for everybody. So, you know, see if we can get it announced on next week's show, but it's going to be a huge event for people that want to come watch karting, and then obviously this is all the lead into the second annual Mainly Motorsports TV 400, which is running September 10th and 11th this year. You came up last year, and I mean that was your first take around that. What'd you think?
I think didn't you say something about you were going to make the trophies as big as me, or something like that, as tall and as wide as me?
How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
We're going 6-foot tall trophies for all. I mean, we're not going as wide around as you. These are only compact cars. Some of these people bring their kids in. What are they going to strap them on the roof?
Yeah, that'll give them something good to take to show and tell to school.
Oh yeah, look what I won, 340-pound trophy. You know, so no, that was a big deal, huh?
Yeah,
I mean,
the hardware was definitely awesome.
You know,
there's no doubt about
you
it.
couldn't compare it to. You know, I mean, it was banquet type material for a race day. You know, this year's race, the senior sportsman and the animal unrestricted each paying $1,250 to win, with a $500 bonus to anybody that can win them both, like Nick Haddon did from Connecticut.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring out the likes of DJ Shaw, Joey Dwyron, Evan Boyer, Tyler King. These are car racers now. These are guys that are making a name for themselves in the car racing ranks now.
Yeah.
They'll be back racing go-karts, you know. So that's going to be a big deal, and you know it's going to be pretty good. Spud Speedway, you know, they're cranked up. They're you know, July 2nd, the main mods are going to be in action up there with a big fireworks display, and you know, so that's good. Troy Haney, and you know, this is year 3, took over right after the 250.
Yeah, we had a past sportsman race up there last year, and I had never been there before, and I saw the photos from the past and stuff. And you could tell that Troy has really done a lot of work to the place and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we don't have a race there this year, but you know, maybe in the future we'll get another one to get back up there and you know, cut some laps around that place.
And the big deal going to be going on, and you know, I'm jumping to the middle of July up at Speedway 95. It's the first annual Ike Door Memorial Race. Chuck Hall was a longtime friend of Ike, raced with Ike. put this race together. It's a street stock Wildcat type of race, and you see some photos here of Ike popping up on screen, and he was just he was a competitor. He wasn't a top runner, Mike Rowe, Ben Rowe guy like that. He was what this racing game is all about.
He was the heart and soul.
He was the heart and soul racer,
Right.
like the Louis Andersons, the Mike Ramseys,
Right.
and every track's got them. The guys that should they be racing? Some weeks probably not, but you know what? If there wasn't, there would be no racing. So Chuck's putting this race together, and for more information, you got this flyer here that we're showing, and we're going to have Chuck on the show in a couple weeks, and to really talk and hype and promote and talk about the people that are supporting him and helping him put this deal together. So, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports. Next week, we're going to have some footage, some highlights, some racing action, and we'll see you next time right here on Mainly Motorsports.
You don't have to wait until the end of camping season to get your best price. Hi, I'm Scott from Scott's Recreation.
We're starting our end of season sale now. We have over 300 campers in stock and every unit is on sale, even the 2020s. Up to $16,000 off travel trailers, up to $30,000 off fifth wheels and motorhomes, up to $40,000 off toy haulers. Ask about our bi-weekly payment program to save you even more money.
Financing available, trades welcome.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
Our family has been in business since 1972. I'm Johnny Wolf. I personally drive and state inspect every vehicle we sell. 21st Century Motors now offers low-rate credit union financing and first-time buyer programs. We have a large selection of vehicles starting at $49.90. Quality vehicles and guaranteed repairs. Come see why more than 50% of our business is repeat or referral. Visit us today on Route 25 in Gorham, Maine, or online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
From our family to your family.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by
Scott's Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scott's Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations, and online at scottsrecreation.com.
Bentley Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
Well, welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, and right here where we did it 7 years ago, Greg, back at the Snowball Derby, and we got this race on our bucket list every year. We got to be here,
And we've turned it into a semi-vacation with a whole group of friends, and it works out good. I mean, this year the weather kind of was crap on Saturday, but what are you going to do? You can't control Mother Nature.
This is Derby Day.
It's Sunday. It's Derby Day.
Take us back 7 years ago. It's Derby Day.
Yeah.
We're watching all these heavy hitters. We're watching guys that they're talking about. And this young kid out of Michigan by the name of Eric Jones beats the best in the business, Kyle Busch. We were here. We saw it.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, I was there the day Eric Jones put himself on the map.
Yeah.
This is a race that can make that happen.
I mean, he didn't just beat Kyle Busch. He drove around the outside of Kyle Busch, He raced him hard for 15 laps on the outside and ended up winning. He didn't back down just because it was Kyle Busch, and there's 30 other guys just like him here that will race that hard.
No, absolutely, but look at what that did to him. It did for him and his family.
Yeah.
Because now he's at the pinnacle and he's at the top level of NASCAR racing. All because he beat the best in the business at the Snowball Derby. Came back next year, drove for Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has won this race. We've watched him win it. We've seen Chase win it. We've seen Hunter Nemechek win it. Kristen Eckes.
Yeah.
Who's the guy this year that attaches his name to it?
Harrison Burton.
Very well could be. He's won a lot. Very impressed with the young man.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we come down. He wrecked in practice on Thursday. Wrecked real bad. They took the car back and worked all night Thursday night, all Friday morning. Got back here in time to get a couple rounds of practice to set themselves up for qualifying, and he made it in the show. Wasn't a threat to win that race because obviously they had a beaten up, torn up race car. But what impressed me most about that young man is he was right there helping them load the car, load the pieces, get back to the shop, or wherever the shop they worked on. Worked throughout the night with them. Finally the crew said, Harrison, we need you to be on your A game tomorrow. You need to go get some rest. But he was right there with them. Since that day, I've been a fan of Harrison Burton.
Yeah.
Watched him almost grow up in front of us,
Right, And I mean, the Chris Wimmer-backed team that he has, and obviously the people that are behind him, but
still, they're on their A game. The kid is aces in the car really right now. Probably the best handling car that I saw all weekend, and he showed it in qualifying. He showed it on the pole. Set it on the pole by a margin that we're not used to seeing in qualifying yet. Time trials are usually a lot closer. I get the general sense that a lot of guys wanted their cars to be fast enough for time trials, but they were worried more about their race setup this year.
We watched Kyle Busch win this race last year with a long run setup.
Yeah.
If that caution comes out with 20 to go, you know what we're talking about today?
Bubba Pollard.
You ain't opening the show. I'm opening it with last year's defending champion, Bubba Pollard, because he had tremendous fire-off speed. Kyle didn't, but the race went that way. So I think people are now, that's what they're doing. That's what they want today. They want their car to last with those 50, 75 lap runs. And we saw Ty Majeski last year stay out on one of those cycles of
and it
tire
just
changes.
ran him over. Yeah.
Went down 2 laps under green. So, but there's so many names. Obviously, we all know what Bubba Pollard can do. We all saw it at Oxford Plains Speedway.
Right.
Jeff Chiquette's been close a few times. You know what I mean? Ty Majeski. Fast.
Casey Roderick.
Casey Roderick's won everything there is to win down here.
Right.
5 flags. The 2 KBM cars, Noah Gregson and
Raphael Assad, right?
You know?
It's
Cole Butcher.
The depth, yeah. I mean, Cole Butcher is
Donnie Wilson.
outside pole, running for Donnie Wilson. So you can't. Anybody can win this race. Who's your sleeper? Who's your sleeper? Who's your sleeper? I'll tell you who my sleeper is. My sleeper is this number 30 car, Jesse Dutelli. He was fast all through practice. He qualified mid-pack, but he's won a race. He's won a Southern Super Series race down here. He's won at 5 flags. What do you do?
No.
I mean, Harrison Burton's obviously favorite.
He's not a sleeper. You know, and a guy that could pull this off, got a lot of experience here, Logan Boyette.
Yeah.
How big would that be for the hometown crowd?
I mean, every Porter Johnny walk around, he has his name on it.
But more importantly, all the New England's pulling for the 12G.
Right.
The kid in the 12D, Derek Griffith, set out to come to this race last year.
Right.
But motor troubles kept him away. They built a new Fury race car. Louis and his dad, they've got it all together. They're here. They qualified 27. How big a deal is that?
Yeah.
The kid from Hudson, I still think of him as the 12-year-old kid from Hudson, racing a little 4 cylinders.
And the thing that's great about something like this is the other night, because a whole bunch of us hang out in the infield and watch qualifying, and the other night after we qualified, it was like this whole group of New Englanders over in Derek's pit, you know, high-fiving Recon, high-fiving Louis, and being excited for him for doing what they did. I mean, it's accomplishment. It's an accomplishment to make this race.
No, absolutely. And as you can see, cars are rolling to tech, pre-race tech. I mean, they do it big down here. But yeah, back to Derek Griffin. I mean, he's got all of New England pulling for him.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool. And you know, when you think about, and that's the next thing that's changed. I know when we came down a few years ago, Speed 51 was involved, but they have taken this race, along with Tim Bryan and his staff, to a whole other level.
I think the competition level, the car count, all that stuff has pretty much stayed flat. But the fan experience and what 5 flags, along with Speed 51, have done, have excelled this. You know.
No, what Bob Dillon and his staff and then Brandon Paul, a guy from the Northeast.
Yeah,
you know,
Lewiston.
Right. You know, they're down here all week. The pay-per-view, the on-track coverage, the interviews, they're bringing it back to the racer. You know, they have taken this race and taken these guys that were regional names. Bubba Pollard was a Southeast regional name, and they've taken him and made him a household name throughout the entire country for super late model racing.
And they honestly, you know, I think they've done that like with the Oxford 250 too. It's stuff like what they've done for the Oxford 250 that has helped attract people like Bubba Pollard to come up.
No, absolutely. So we can't thank everybody at 5 Flag Speedway enough. Tim Bryant, what they've gone through to make this race what it is. Not only that, what they've gone through this weekend to try to get this race in today.
Tornado watch yesterday.
Tornado watch. We had Thunder Boomers. I mean, oh my God. And it's going to happen. we're going to see it. We're going to watch it live. We're going to see highlights. The 51st Annual Snowball Derby. But I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, I'm going to walk up and down pit road. I'm going to see what I can find. I'm going to talk about this race, what it's meant, what the race means to them, their families, their region, Adela Griffith, all of that. And but the one other thing before we go to break, we'll talk about Jason Gammon too. Lou's come down. Lou's been a part of this. You know, they expect to see that 81 Christmas theme roll in. Lou had some difficulties at the end of the year, lost the motor, wasn't able to make the race. Jason Gammon stepped up, said, listen, I'll fund it, I'll put it together, I'll put my motor in it, I'll drive it. So Lou turned car owner, wrench guy, and still good. Came down, supported it. Could have very easily said, you know what, no, I'm going to leave it in the garage.
And it was probably definitely the biggest track Jason's ever raced on. Still had a respectable finish, you know.
Yeah, so
finished 11th.
So we still had a street stock guy down here supporting Northeast, finishing 10th after Tech. And
that's right.
We don't even want to talk about Tech, and man, that's crazy. But looking forward to it. Glad to have you down here again.
Yeah.
Another thing that's changed. 7 years ago we went. There was no Vicky. Now there's Vicky, right?
Yeah. Well, you were saying what's the biggest change for both of us? Vicky and Deb.
Vicky and Deb. Women. Our new women. But no, it's been great. We hope you guys all enjoy what we do down here for Five Flag Speedway. And enjoy. If you tuned in, you saw a great race. If you're not, you're going to see some great highlights. And we had a blast once again down here. Five Flag Speedway, 51st Annual Snowball Derby.
Hi, I'm Sean Moody. We take pride in our facilities, and at Moody's, it's what's inside that matters. We believe it's more than just the exterior looking good. It's what's inside that matters. Restoring the structure of your vehicle the factory specs is critical to your safety. I'm proud of our Moody's co-worker owners who understand the importance of protecting your valuable asset. And we all know what our most valuable asset is. It's what's inside that matters.
Welcome to LST Landscaping, where we've been providing complete landscape solutions to all of southern Maine since 1969. We specialize in year-round landscape maintenance and snow services, including weekly lawn mowing, seasonal cleanups, sweeping, mulching, and so much more. Many more customizable services are available upon request. Please call our office today at 207-878-1578 or visit our website, lstlandscapinginc.com.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
It's, you know, that Actor, they put on some good racing, you know. They've been back at Beechridge for a few years, and, you know, now a different winner.
Yeah, it's another different winner, but it was a winner from Maine. And a lot of people assume that the Actor is a Vermont/Canada-based organization, but there are a lot of drivers from New Hampshire, and there are a lot of drivers from Maine in it. Out of the top 15, 7 of the top finishes out of the top 15 were from Maine, and 3 were from Vermont, and 3 were from New Hampshire, and 1 was from Mass, and 1 was from New York.
Yeah, so that's
spread out right
all
there.
Over New England, you know. And,
yeah.
And then the main guy that announced before the race that it was his last career race behind the wheel of a race car, Greg Peters, used to run the old Charger division up there at Oxford, and then has raced every division known to man at Beechridge. Finished his career down in the trees, right?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I don't know what happened. I just saw him go off the top of 3 and 4 really fast, and I was glad to hear he was okay. I guess he put her in the pucker brush pretty good.
Not the way he wanted to finish his career,
No.
but you know, good career for Greg Peters. He's still involved in a couple of teams in the pits. And,
Yeah.
You know, and that's the guy that you like to see when they get down out of the seat. They maintain in the sport.
Yeah, and he's a good guy, and he's fun to talk to and hang out with.
Yeah,
so
glad to see that he was all right when they pulled him out of the pucker brush.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I spent a wild and crazy weekend up at Richmond Karting Speedway.
Yeah,
And
you look tired.
I'm beat. But I'll tell you, Saturday, it was free. And this is something I think these tracks ought to look at in the state. Tom Mayberry last year, the Pass South, did a few events where they charged by the carload.
As many as you pack in, it's 10, 20 bucks to park your car, and you go watch the race. They had a full house. Well, up at Richmond Saturday, the driver paid the race. That was it. Anybody else that came, crew members, family members, just it was all free. And there was a lot of people that heard the advertisements on the TV show, the advertisements on the radio, that just decided to show up and check it out and see what it was all about. And they had over 1,000 people there.
Really?
And it was
1,000 people
at the go-kart races.
So it was standing room only, pretty
they
much.
were packed around, and between and Crustacean, the monster truck
Was there,
on display. Well, then they decided they're going to do a little bit more on display. They're going to put him on the infield and rip it up. And I'm going to tell you, he ripped it up. There was mud flying, and as you see by these photos, I mean, he put on a display, and that crowd went wild. So just maybe they've hit on something. I know they're going to do it again next year. Maybe the track's around, and you see the photos, the crowd shots, and it's just what a great time of racing they had Saturday and Sunday. And these kids are really getting into it. This Sunday, DJ Shaw showed up. Why did DJ Shaw show up? Because he's getting ready for the Mainly Motorsports TV 400. He wants to take home a $3,000 payday at a go-kart race. $3,000 somebody can possibly take home by winning both of the senior races, the senior sportsman and the animal unrestricted, and then get the $500 bonus. So that's a pretty good payday for a guy running a go-kart.
Absolutely, it's a pretty good payday in anything.
Yeah, so mark your calendars, September 10th and 11th. For the Mainly Motorsports TV 400, because that is going to be the place to be. I know Unity and Bangor are both running Saturday night, but Sunday you want to come down and you want to witness some of the best racing you'll see. Kids, adults, everybody racing.
And big hardware.
The biggest hardware you'll see at a track in the state of Maine, anywhere.
Right.
2011. There's nobody that's going to give out any hardware any bigger than what I'm.
I think I challenged you to make it bigger than last year.
And we have made it bigger last year. It's prettier. Nothing against what Kyle Busch just took back to him at Oxford, but I'll compare the trophies of what my first place guy gets and what he got.
Right.
This stuff is awesome. So, mark your calendars. It was a great time. It was a great weekend. And then speaking of the go-karting thing, one of their graduates.
Yeah.
I had to call an 11-year-old kid
a graduate, right.
But Cameron Lovejoy graduated from go-karts and moved into the main mod series, and they traveled this weekend to
New Hampshire, Canaan, and Twin State.
The old Claremont, and won them both.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, he's 11 years old. This is his first season running the car, I believe.
Yep.
And he comes home with the win. I saw last night that he'd won at Canaan, and then we got word today that he won at Twin State.
So that's pretty amazing feat, So congratulations to the Lovejoy family and Cameron.
Right.
Good little racer, and that's pretty amazing.
Where'd we get that feedback from that he won today?
Just the Coop. My buddy, the Coop. I call him Luke the Coop. His name's Mike Lux, but I call him Luke the Coop. But good guy for motorsports. Sponsors my daughter, so everybody that knows Mike, he's.
Everybody that knows Luxy, he's involved.
Oh yeah, he's involved. So great. You saw some great racing at the Beaches. The series were involved. Here's a picture of the winner in the Pro Series. Excuse me. Joey Dwyer, getting his first win out of the way down there. And he was close before and had a real tough year. So that's a
good thing for their family. I mean, his parents put a lot of heart and soul into their team, and they deserve it as much as anybody. They're great supporters of him and his racing, and great people to know.
Yeah. So there's that, and then we get the Sports Series
where Marcel Chevette won the Sports Series features Saturday night at Beech Ridge.
Yeah. And then the Wildcat, Keith Stewart, with his first win down there. And,
So that was 3 first-time winners right there Saturday night.
Running across the scroll, and notice a lot of businesses run across the scroll, but you'll see Stewart Recycling, one of our scroll sponsors. So, a lot of racers step up to help this program out.
And then Dave Cameron, sitting on the trailer all afternoon because he can't practice or anything, comes out and wins the feature in the Roadrunners. So.
Yeah, but you want to go to the Gossip Corner, I call it, mainracing.com, because there was, what I would understand after Saturday night, there was a lot of tech issues. Some of them probably overblown and out of proportion.
The Gossip Corner.
The Gossip Corner. That's where you'll get every piece of information you ever thought you needed in life.
If you like reading people arguing with each other on the computer, it's fun.
Everything. So congratulations to all those people, and we got a great show planned today. We're
We're going to talk about some upcoming things this weekend that I have planned.
Yep.
But then in 2 weeks, Summerfest.
Summerfest is going to be awesome.
August 14th, and mark it on your calendar. Come down, $5 to get in. You have a free hot dog and a hamburger. And we got a lot of interviews today from some people that are going to be heavily involved in that. And,
Yep.
Get you kind of pumped up for it. So,
let's get pumped up for Summerfest.
Pumped up for Summerfest. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back on Mainly Motorsports.
We know Maine is hard on cars, so when your ignition won't turn or you lose your key, that just adds insult to injury. Why tow it? E-Keys for Cars technicians will solve your problem in your dooryard or at the mall and get you back on the road. AAA member? You should be. Your AAA locksmith coverage comes right off the bill. E-Keys for Cars, Maine's fast, affordable solution to your car key and lock problems. On the Auto Mile, Route 1, Saco.
E-Keys for Cars.
Our family has been in business since 1972. I'm Johnny Wolf. I personally drive and state inspect every vehicle we sell. 21st Century Motors now offers low-rate credit union financing and first-time buyer programs. We have a large selection of vehicles starting at $49.90. Quality vehicles and guaranteed repairs. Come see why more than 50% of our business is repeat or referral. Visit us today on Route 25 in Gorham, Maine, or online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
From our family to your family.
You don't have to wait until the end of camping season to get your best price. Hi, I'm Scott from Scotch Recreation.
We're starting our end of season sale now. We have over 300 campers in stock and every unit is on sale. Even the 2020s, up to $16,000 off travel trailers, up to $30,000 off fifth wheels and motorhomes, up to $40,000 off toy haulers. Ask about our bi-weekly payment program to save you even more money.
Financing available, trades welcome.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by
Four Seasons Synthetic. See them for all your AMSOIL product needs.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Now, Greg, we mentioned in our opening segment about Summerfest coming up, and
Yep.
That's probably the biggest thing, other than the Hall of Fame banquet that the Maine Vintage organization does. And without any organization, and if it's a good organization, and it's getting stuff done in a timely manner, and it's getting it done right, it's because there's a woman heavily involved.
Right.
And Maine Vintage is no different than anything else.
They got a few of them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yes.
they got a few of them, but I call her the straw that stirs the drink. She's the one, when I need an answer, I get it, is Gail Libby.
Yep.
And she's very, very, and it's, what's really nice is her dad, Phil Libby, was very instrumental with Bob Morris.
Yep.
Starting this organization. Phil passed away a few years ago. It's nice to see her and her brothers pick up the torch from Phil and continue on with
The
his
Maine
dream
Vintage and
his
right.
passion. So it's great. So you got a chance to hear Bruce Elder talk to Gail about her and the Maine Vintage and the people behind the scenes that make it happen. And after Gail, we have Frank Dory, and people are gonna go, "Who's Frank Dory?" But when they see him on Mainly Motorsports here, they're gonna say, "That's Frank
Dory, right?"
The guy is at every show that the Maine Vintage organization is
Right.
at, whether it's the Northeast Motorsports Expo, which is less than 6 months away, Race and Preview, or Summerfest, or
Right.
anything they do, and he has a beautiful display of old, I don't want to call it artifacts, but past pictures and photos.
Pictures,
A lot of them from
programs,
Beechridge,
a lot of
programs,
stuff, right?
Everything from the racers of yesteryear.
Right. Yep.
And
one of the I know one of the things that the Maine Vintage Race Car Association is trying to do is get more guys like my age in the mid 30s, early 20s to mid 30s involved. And if you're available on August 14th to go down to Summerfest, then that's the day to go down and get to, just go up and talk to these people and say, hey, how can I be involved? I loved racing when I was a little kid, and I want to try to keep that
if it wasn't for
memories going,
Bob Morris, Phil Libby's of the world, Bob Libby's, Gardner Levitt,
Right.
Davos, the guys that have been inducted into this Hall of Fame.
That started everything that we're keeping going.
Homer Drew. We wouldn't be sitting at Beach Ridge
You know,
or
right.
Unity or 95 or Spot or anywhere on a Saturday night, And so get out and support them, join their membership, join their organization,
Right.
keep money. You know what? For the money it costs, I don't know if it's $15, $25, whatever it is, I just look forward to when they get the newsletter out every 2 or 3 months. Just some different things going on. And
Right, yeah.
And then down at Summerfest, you'll have the Wicked Good organization.
that will have a bunch of stuff on display, and they just raced this past weekend up the Speedway 95. So that's totally different. It's along the same line, but it's totally different. They
Right.
race, so there's a chance to meet Rosie Gary and that organization. A lot of those guys that are heavily involved in keeping.
But you know what's good
the
about those
tradition
two
together.
organizations is that they're basically the same type of deal, and they work together.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
they work hand in hand about different things.
Yeah,
So
no, that's good. So enjoy these interviews with Gail and Frank, and then we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Bruce Elder's going to take you through a walkthrough of the Mobile Museum, what they had on display a few weeks ago at Reynolds Motorsports, and you can see at Summerfest. So enjoy these next two segments on Mainly Motorsports.
Okay, we're here at Reynolds Motorsports on Father's Day weekend with our annual Maine Motorsports display, and I have Gail Libby with me, who is the treasurer of our Maine Vintage Race Car Association and the chair of the Mobile Museum Committee. And Gail, just what a wonderful job your committee has done, and you've got to be gratified at how this is coming out.
Well, I've got to be the luckiest chairperson ever because we have a great team. Everybody has their different strengths, things that they know how to do, like to do, make good recommendations, and you can't do it alone, and I haven't. All of this is totally a team effort, and we brainstorm what we're going to do, and if you've noticed inside now, there's a lot of different pictures of other tracks, which is one of the focus points that we're trying to work on now, really kind of spread it out. We just set up something inside for Spud Speedway, and also this time, for the first time, we put in photos from the Maine Mall shows, which is something a little more current that I thought people might be interested in. So there's things going on all the time, and also now people are starting to come forward with artifacts and donations and things like that. So we're getting to choose some nice things to go inside.
Right. And we're wondering where we're going to keep all this memorabilia. So it's been terrific in one way that we've been given so much, but now our problem is how are we going to house all of this? Right. We did go through the trailer quickly and did note the fact that as the trailer goes from one track to another, your committee does a nice job of highlighting that track. And we mentioned Spud Speedway. Yes. First time the Mobile Museum had made a trip to Aroostook County.
That's true. That's true. We had a crew that was willing to haul it up there and stay there for a few days. So we made a splash up country. So that's good.
Absolutely. And we want to mention this being Father's Day weekend. We hope that folks will notice in the background here, of course, Gail's dad, Phil Libby, undoubtedly one of the greatest racers ever out of our state, and a guy who was also a historian and was such a foundation builder of this sport. So this has got to be a special thing for you as well.
Well, it's very healing to work on this, and Dad had a lot of stuff. So if you look in the background here, you can see the display boards. Mm-hmm. He actually made those for Beechridge Speedway 50th anniversary. Yeah. That's when he made those. So he kind of started this whole presentation himself, but he just saved a lot of things, had a lot of things stored, and so when we first started out, we had some things to choose from to start with, but he would be very happy with what we have. I know.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's smiling down on this effort, and Gail, it's just been terrific to have you with the enthusiasm and the commitment you've made to this. So I can say on behalf of this whole organization a real sincere thank you to your efforts.
You're very welcome, and every one of these events is lots of fun. Get to meet people I haven't seen for a long time. I get to hear their comments about the pictures, and like I said, it's very healing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, here with Frank Dory and his display, and Frank, you've certainly been faithful to this organization. You, I think, display at virtually every event that you possibly can, and have some of the wonderful memorabilia from up through the years of racing in Maine, and certainly appreciate all the time that you put into this.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the kinds of things that you've collected and that you typically display. I know probably this is only a part of what you have.
A lot of programs, old programs from the 60s and 50s. A lot of Frankie Moses pictures.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff from Steve Pellerin and Andy Cusack.
Yeah. This stuff, you have to see it. You have to get up close, and I'm not sure whether they can get some of this on camera, but there's just great history here. As I look over the pictures and the programs and so on, it brings back some great memories for me.
Yeah, a lot of old-time people that I've seen at the Ridge a lot.
Not that I'm an old-time person, though, right?
No, you're not old. Not at all, Bruce.
Well, I tell you, it's much appreciated, and people need to get out to these events. We hope that, Steve covering this on Mainly Motorsports will, kind of introduce it to some folks that may otherwise not even know that these things are going on. But, again, that the Maine Vintage Association very much appreciates the dedication that you've shown to being a part of this whole effort.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sean Moody. We take pride in our facilities, and at Moody's, it's what's inside that matters. We believe it's more than just the exterior looking good, it's what's inside that matters. Restoring the structure of your vehicle to factory specs is critical to your safety. I'm proud of our Moody's co-worker owners who understand the importance of protecting your valuable asset. And we all know what our most valuable asset is. It's what's inside that matters.
Servicing differentials is virtually impossible. The confined space makes fill holes difficult to reach, and industry-standard conical bottles are rigid and hard to squeeze. That combination makes for a messy job. Plus, you can't get all of the gear lube out of the bottle, so you have to buy more than you need to complete the job. And engineering your own solution only results in disaster. Not anymore. Introducing the new AMSOIL Easy Pack. Easily access hard-to-service differentials. Easily squeeze out all of the contents. And easily stay clean while you do it. No more leftover fluid or inconvenient rigid bottles. No more trouble reaching difficult fill holes. No more mess. AMSOIL Severe Gear in the new Easy Pack. The solution to all your problems.
Another first from AMSOIL. For a stocking dealer nearest you, call toll-free 877-761-8375 or visit fourseasonsynthetic.com.
Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports. I'm all flustered. This weekend's edition, I don't know what it is, but I guess it's you. You fluster me, Greg. You think the woman next to me would fluster me, but no, I'm flustered by you.
It's because I'm so hot. That's the biggest joke of the day.
No, but did you miss your gig there last week? We were up to Unity. You were.
No, I thought it was good. Renee, I thought did a good job, and I had fun at the lawnmower races. Charlie told me some very interesting stories. So
yeah, now I want to know, the question you posed to Charlie had to do with, I feel the wind. What?
That's what somebody up there told me. You feel the wind like Earnhardt did at Talladega. You could feel the wind.
If you look at the picture that Dave put up on screen here, it ain't so much feeling the wind. It might be breaking wind, right I mean? But I'll tell you, we used to have a ball. And if it wasn't for the broken ribs and the broken collarbones and things like that, I'd probably still be doing it. But
yeah, it was pretty interesting up there. They get it done, a few of them,
Yeah, and you saw in the piece there, one of them got flipped there, Ryan Lunn. He looked like he wanted to get up and feed somebody the knuckles.
Yeah, he did. He did want to feed the knuckles, you could tell.
So, no, it's good. It's, now, word on the street is next week, or this upcoming week, I should say, this Friday night, Renee's going to go up there and try one, so I don't think she knows what she's in for.
I don't think so either.
I think they're just going to let her ride around like she's mowing the lawn. They don't want to.
I almost thought about asking to drive the pace mower, but
because you need the key. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. The key to success with racing a lawnmower is being beefy.
Yeah, keeping the weight on the traction down.
You got to keep the left cheek over the left rear fender and the right cheek on the left rear fender, and you can make some ground up.
Right, yeah.
So, no, it was good. And then, obviously, Unity was a ball,
Yeah, it looked like I watched the show and saw the highlights from up there, and it looked like you guys had a pretty good time. George was all decked out in his Magnum PI
Oh, yeah, he looked like Tom. What was the guy's name? Tom Selleck?
No, not Tom Selleck, but Higgins, the guy.
Oh, Higgy, yeah, Higgy. But I thought I won the hula hoop contest. I think it was rigged, but you know what? When you go to their playground, they make the rules.
Well, I thought it was rigged. When I saw him put it on you, I knew that you were DQ'd.
What do you mean?
I saw they had ropes hanging so the hula hoop couldn't fall down. How was that fair?
Listen, the tech guy's wife made it. So, I mean, you'd think there would be a little clout there. You know?
I already, because I'm a racer, I look at the gray areas on the rules, and I already know how you could have beat that rule.
How's that?
Had a hula hoop that was tight around your belly, and then it couldn't have fallen down. You could have just wiggled your belly around. It would look like it was going, and it would have never fallen to the ground.
I would look like that cartoon character with the little tutu there. I don't know what her name is.
And you would have got the prize.
Yeah, no, they would have found.
That's what happens when you cheat. Whatever.
Yeah, no, but it was a great time, you know, and because race season's winding down, you know, and it's just so much. Everybody's everybody's on edge trying to get the last of the season points. You know, there's still a lot going on. Finally, this week we're going to show some motocross later in the show. You know, I've been trying to get the motocross footage out there, and you know, because Maine. We've shut some tracks down in the last couple of years, but between Hemans and MX207, where that piece is from, I mean, there's still a big following in the motocross field.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, racing's racing. It doesn't matter what you do, whether it's motocross, lawnmowers, drag cars, oval track.
Yeah, no, racing's racing. Right. That's a new one, Greg.
And that's what we cover.
Yeah, we cover racing, all forms of motorsports, car shows, cruise nights.
Right.
You name it, we got it, you know. And as you look at the board there, you see some of the things going on, some of the new
signature sponsors.
Right, you know, and we just struck up a deal with the Geary Motel chain, and they have 4 motels: the Best Western, what used to be, you know, the Holiday Inn next to the Civic Center, the Comfort Inn down the road, the Parkwood Inn over in Brunswick, and then they have the Grand Hotel up in Waterville. That they've struck a deal with us that anybody that's looking to stay at one of these places, providing it's on a blacked out weekend or day, or they're already full, they can call up, tell them they want the Mainly Motorsports rate, and it's $73 for a room, and that's year round. So that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
You know, and I've already had some people take advantage of it. So you know, as we get closer to my race going on up at RKS and then the Augusta show, you know, which they always work with us for those anyway.
Right, yeah.
But it is good to know that if you want to take your wife out or your girlfriend and you say, hey, you know, I'm looking for a nice place, affordable, you know, go support one of the motels that supports us, you know.
Right, yeah.
So it's just another opportunity and things we're doing for ourselves. Obviously, it's, you know, it's got to benefit us, but then we also want it to benefit our viewers, you know. And been hearing from a lot of viewers. Last week we had a little glitch in the DVD. You know, electronics are great, but until they screw up. So we had a bad batch of DVDs. So we got that straightened out. Luckily, you were able to get back and follow it on Friday or Saturday. So it was a good show. It was a lot of fun up there, you know.
Yeah, and you can always look at it on the internet. Usually we post it on Facebook.
Yep, you know, it's on YouTube, so you know, it's pretty neat. It's just trying to get the show out there and put us in front of people, as many people as we possibly can.
So the big question is, did you miss me? I mean, I know you had Renee.
No, because I had my wife.
It looked like you had a lot more room in here.
Oh yeah, we had a lot more room. Jeez, I'm crow. I could have put a refrigerator in between of us, you know.
It looked like the table was tipped that way. I don't know.
No,
there was. You were leaning on.
Yeah, we you know, she's got to beef up or I got to trim down. But up to Unity, you would have had fun with that, you know. And it was a good time and it was great. We had Daryl from LKQ that made the trek up there to present the driver of the month.
Great guy.
My wife. And my secret weapon in the hula hoop contest, the Big E, but even she got, I don't think she was favorably looked upon, you know. I mean, that's what happens when you bring a ringer in. They kind of, you know, I mean, she had all the assets.
So who ended up winning that? Did you ever find out who won the hula hoop contest?
I think the winner was the organizer's daughter, but I didn't say that. But anyway, no, it was. I mean, it's just for fun, you know what I mean. So it's good, and it was fun. All the kids being out on the front stretch was that was awesome. It really was.
It looked like it was really good hardware too. They all looked excited to be
and then to do the interviews on the track, you know, and that meant a lot because some guys just don't get into that winner's circle,
right?
You know, so to be able to be heard and you know Dylan Turner to give his side of the story on you know what happened between him and you know the 18 car Brian Whitney, you know, it was you know obviously the people there they saw it, but it was nice to hear that geez, he did do what I thought he did, you know,
right? Yeah.
So, but we got a great show planned today. We got some tractor footage from the Make-A-Wish poll this past weekend, and just so much going on. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back on Mainly Motorsports. Well, one of those shows where we got a lot of jam-packed stuff in here. You know, we got kids, we got Make-A-Wish kids, we got motocross, we got everything.
Yeah, sometimes we need to fill it in with some stuff, you know. We need to spread ourselves thin.
Yeah. Better go and get a dozer to do that. But, you know, on next week's episode, you know, I think we had to do is do a little research this week and look at some of the point standings that's going on throughout the state and some of the tight battles at some of these tracks. Because, you know, obviously there's probably some divisions that there's a walk away and we already know who the champion is. But let's total them up after this weekend and sit down and see where we got some nice battles that people can start following along with.
Right, yep. That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
to see where you might want to go to see
see that new champion crowned for the first time, you know, or
guys trying to come from second to win their first championship.
Yeah, and it's a great time of year, you know, because, you know, it's been a big effort for the team and everybody to get to this point. And that's all you ask is to put yourself in position to challenge for that championship.
Right, yeah.
I mean, look at you guys last year. How many years did you try and how many times did you come close? And finally you put it together, you know?
Yeah, it was pretty eventful right down to the wire for us.
Yeah, I mean, the last corner of the last lap. And, you know, I've seen them won like that. I've seen them lost like that. So it's a good time of year, you know, and then kids are going to be going back to school, so the parents are going to get their break. And yay, you know, so... But one quick thing I want to talk about is the Spud 150 coming up Labor Day weekend. So you late model guys looking for that one last big hurrah, go up to, you know, and now they got online, if you register early, you can save, I think, $5 a tire or something. So Troy's trying to do a little extra. So for Greg, I'm Steve, and for Steve, I'm Greg, right? Or whatever we are.
Right. I'm not Renee.
You're not Renee. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports, and we'll see you next time.